Hello there, Bishop Kwanzaa here, and welcome back to my channel. Uh, so this is the second video on this channel. In the previous video, we did mention that we are going to talk about data analytics more in details, understand what data analytics really is about. Now, the steps to keep in mind when performing your analysis, and so on and so forth. So, once again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you. If you've already watched the first video, I appreciate it so much. I appreciate it so much. And for everyone, if this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so let's move straight to the point. So data analytics. When we say data analytics, it's important for one to know what data analytics really is all about, because without knowing the foundation, without knowing what you are doing, visualizations are going to cut it. And this is something that I personally realized, throughout my data analytics journey. And so I know that visualization isn't just the way, it isn't going to cut it. It's just a part of your work process, but it's not entirely your work process. There's so much more into data analytics than just visualization. And that's what this session is all about, to understand that data analytics isn't about the visualization. I say this because when you go on to LinkedIn, it looks like that is what data analytics is all about visualization, creating beautiful dashboards and all that. However, data analytics is more than that. All right. So data analytics, what is data analytics? Now you need to understand that there are some stages when it comes to you being a data analyst or you performing data analytics. All right. So, and these stages include one, your ability to collect data. All right. So that is the first stage for every data analyst. Sorry. So that is the first stage. If you call yourself a data analyst, you need to be able to collect data. Now, I say this is the first stage, and I say this is important because data could be anywhere. All right, data could be on the internet, data could be in an Excel file, CSV, it could be anywhere. All right, now if you do not know how to take this data from these sources, then how are you going to perform your data? You can't begin the visualization without knowing how to pull this data from these places. Do you understand? And so the first thing to note is that you should know the ability to gather data and collect data. All right. Now the second stage of it is that after you've collected the data, you should be able to transform and clean the data. And now this is the most important part of data analytics, because there's simply no way you can perform data analytics without unclean data or a data that isn't transformed. All right, and so a lot of the time you hear people saying that data cleaning takes about 70% of the data analytics work, and that is perfectly true. That is true. For someone who works as a data analyst, I can verify that is the most tedious process when it comes to data analytics. Do you understand? And we are going to go through all of this in subsequent videos for you to understand what I mean by it being the most tedious and why it takes the major part of the data analytics work, right? And then the third thing is, or the third stage is you analyzing the data set. Now, why is important for you to clean the data properly or transform the data properly is so that you are able to analyze the data properly. And so if the data isn't cleaned well, then you can't analyze the data, you can't understand the data. All right, and if you are unable to understand the data, that means you are not going to provide a reliable analysis to whoever that is the analytics. All right, or to whoever that gave you the project, because the data wasn't cleaned properly, understanding wasn't there, and the analysis is bad. So even though you are going to do a good job providing some good answers, because your data cleaning was bad, the analysis is going to be bad. And so there is a saying that You can be a data analyst, but are you going to be a good data analyst, or are you going to be